InTheRingBoxing.com.
What's going on, fight fans? Thanks for listening to the InTheRingBoxing.com podcast show. We have on the line with us tonight the former light welterweight champion of the world, Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi. Champ, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
No problem. All right, Paulie, congratulations on your most recent victory over Jose Miguel Cotto, a fight that took place on the Action Heroes fight card, a great, fully stacked fight card. Talk about the fight, Paulie. How do you rate your performance?
I give myself a decently high grade. You know, not the best grade because I think if I didn't hurt my hands, I would have probably got Cotto out of there, and not knocked him out cold or anything. But I think I would have got him out of there just on throwing him a good beating. You know, I think I had to lay off the combinations I was throwing because my hands were killing me. So I had to basically become economical with my punches. It's basically been the story of my career. You know, I'm always in shape and I'm always able to throw a lot of speed punches, but I always have to be economical with the amount of punches I throw because my hands start to kill me, you know what I mean? And that ended up being the problem on the 9th against Cotto. I just had that issue with my hands, and I think the second half of the fight, I had to deaden the action a little bit and dull it up, just to make sure I win the fight, but yet don't hurt them worse than I did, you know?
All right. Was it a fracture or did you break your hands or anything?
I ruptured the tendon in my middle knuckle, in my right middle knuckle.
Oh, okay. All right, so I assume you're going to get some rest now, but do you have any plans for the future? Do you know what's next?
As far as what's next, I was going to fight Jan Zavik in June. We were setting it up to fight on the Canelo Alvarez-Ryan Rhodes card. We didn't want to announce it until I won this fight, but that was almost a done deal. Golden Boy was doing some good things for me, and they had already almost had that fight finalized, but because I hurt my hand, and also because obviously I'm cut from the fight, I would not have been able to fight June 17th, so we had to delay that now. I believe Zavik is going to now fight Randall Bailey on another date, which is mandatory. And we'll try to pick it up again in the fall, hopefully, once I'm healed up. I keep my fingers crossed, man. I'm going to opt not to have surgery on my hand. The doctor said, this is sometimes something you get surgery on. And I have gotten surgery on ruptured tendon in the past. But I don't know, I just feel like if I have the option not to get surgery and to heal it up with some good therapy, I think I'm going to go that route because I've already had 4 operations on my right hand. I do not want a 5th. I need a 5th operation on my hand, like I need a hole in my head, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm going to try to opt for some good therapy and rest in the hand, and hopefully I'll be back healthier in the fall,
Okay. All right, Paulie, you were training at the Wildcard Gym leading up to the fight. Is that a permanent home for your training camp? So will you be going back there?
Yes, man. I love training there. It's a great atmosphere. Everybody's friendly. Everybody can fight. I love training with my trainer, Eric Brown, man. We just mesh more and more every day. And he's a great trainer. He's a great guy. And I enjoy even that part of boxing. Sometimes you just get sick of training and you get sick of just the preparation. But I enjoy it. I like LA. I like training a Wildcard, and I love training with Eric Brown.
Okay. Champ, you've been in there with some of the best fighters in the world, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, Juan Diaz, the list goes on. I'm curious, who would you say is the toughest fighter you faced?
Bar none is Miguel Cotto. Bar none. He's a solid fighter, very fundamentally sound, very smart, knows how to position a fight and make it go his way, or at least make you fight his fight, and hits like a mule kick. Absolutely hits like a mule kick, man. Now, I tell people I have 33 fights I have. There are 32 fights, 32 opponents, and then there's Miguel Cotto as far as punching power is concerned. I mean, his punching power was in a league of its own. And combine that with the fact that he's also a good fighter. He's fundamentally sound, and he knows how to win fights. And you have for me, the best fighter I've fought in my career.
Okay. All right, Paulie. Hypothetically speaking, if you had to make a choice, fight Pacquiao at 140 or Mayweather at 154, which would it be?
if I had to fight Pacquiao 40 or Mayweather 54?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, they're both appealing choices. I don't know. It's. I think you gotta. I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, it's tough. It's tough, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the Mayweather Pacquiao question, I kind of at this point try to stay away from them because I've gotten on the bad side of some people's bad side, stating what I think about that, the situations of that. So they're hard. They really become hard questions to answer, And so I don't know. I got to tell you, I can't really answer that question. It's awful.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. Can you give the fans a little background information on how you got started in boxing?
I got started. I actually got a little bit of a late start. I was a teenager. I was actually expelled from high school, and then I started boxing. I was 16 years old. My family just had me sign up to the gym just to keep me out of trouble and just give me something to do with myself, And from there, I just, I started winning some amateur tournaments. I picked it up pretty quickly, and I also started to enjoy it to the point where I was actually staying disciplined at something for the first time in my life. I really was not disciplined in anything. I didn't stick to anything I did throughout my whole childhood. I really didn't care for much. Anything that was too hard to work or just anything, I was not goal-oriented at all, And all of a sudden, with boxing, it just like something clicked, man. Something just clicked, and I did have a late start, so I did have a lot of catching up to do with a lot of my peers. And, sometimes, you go home with headaches from the gym or bloody noses, bloody mouth, But, it's part of the learning process. I was determined because I liked it and I enjoyed it so much. And I liked the challenge of getting in there and fighting all the time, And it kind of gave me a level head and matured me as a fighter, matured me as a man, obviously. And more so than that, like I said, I think the maturity as an adult and as a man that I got from boxing is unparalleled to anything else, So, I got boxing thanks for a lot of things. And, that's basically how I got started in a nutshell.
Absolutely, man. And it's paid off for you. That's good.
Yeah. You have there's pros and cons to everything you do, and sometimes you do have some regrets in your life. But and even in boxing, there are some things I regret about my boxing career. But all in all, I do think if I hadn't started boxing, my life would not be in a position it's in right now. I'm in a pretty good position, even though I've had some tough breaks, and I haven't always made the right choices, or sometimes I don't believe it's been my fault with some things that have happened in my career. But all in all, I do have to say, if it wasn't for boxing, my life would not be where it is, and it's definitely that's more positive than anything else. I think my life is better with boxing than it would have been without boxing.
Yes, sir. All right, Paulie, there's a huge fight coming up in a couple weeks. Pacquiao, Mosley. Who's going to win that fight?
I think it's a much better fight than people think. I think, I analyze it this way. Mosley didn't look good his last two fights, so that's why everybody wants to write him off. But by the same token, you got to look at the guy he fought. Mayweather, styles make fights. Mayweather is a guy who takes away what you do best. He specializes in taking away what you do best. He basically makes you feel like you're handcuffed and just starts outsmarting you, outboxing you, and just, like I said, you basically start feeling like your hands have behind your back. Sergio Mora, the other guy Mosley fought, nobody goes good against Sergio Mora. Sergio specializes in not making a fight look good, making a fight look ugly, and Sergio knows how to win those kinds of fights once they take a turn for the worse. Obviously Mosley and Sergio had a draw, but it was just one of those fights where nobody would look good, and usually nobody does look good fighting Sergio Mora. So you got a guy who specializes in handcuffing you with Mayweather, and you got a guy who specializes in not making you look good in Mora. Those are just tough fights to look good for Mosley, you know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao, essentially, is not too much scientific boxing behind him. He basically runs right through you. He really does. He basically runs through you. He does the same thing over and over again, and he just runs right through you, And I don't think it's going to be that easy to just run right through Mosley. So I expect a good fight. You got to favor Pacquiao for sure, what he's been doing lately and what he's been accomplishing lately. But I don't expect him to just run right through Mosley. Then again, you never know. Mosley is 40 years old, but at the same time, Mosley got beat in different ways, or had to look good in different ways than he's looked bad in different ways other than, getting run through. Nobody's just going to run through Shane Mosley in my book, in my mind, So I don't see Manny Pacquiao just running right through him. He's going to get a fight out of Shane, man. And I think it could be a good fight. I think from 147 and below, this is the toughest fight for Manny Pacquiao other than with Mayweather. People want to say, let him fight Marquez again the third time with Pacquiao. Pacquiao Marquez is a done deal. You can't make that fight anymore. To me, that fight is the biggest joke ever, to see the fact that people still want to want to make that fight. Mosley it's been outgrown. Pacquiao has just outgrown the weight to the point where you can't match Mosley as a Pacquiao anymore and expect to have an evenly matched fight. Pacquiao was just too big for him at this point. I don't see that fight being that competitive at this point anymore. But I do think Shane, from 147 and down, unless you expect Pacquiao to go up and weight again, from 147 and down, I think Shane is the toughest opponent of Manny Pacquiao outside of Floyd Mayweather. And for that reason, I think it's not a bad fight at all. I do favor Manny, but I like the fight. From an entertainment point of view, I like the fight, and I'm curious what happens on May 7th, because it's a good fight. For me, it's a good fight,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100% there. Paulie, thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there?
Just I was really, really glad to be back on the national spotlight on April 9th. Granted, I was just opening up pay-per-view. I wasn't a big part of the pay-per-view. I was the opening bout, but just the fact that I already got back on television on HBO pay-per-view, even if I opened up the show, I'm grateful to Golden Boy and HBO to give me the opportunity to get back, showcase myself, show people that I still got something to work with, and I feel much better than people give me credit for, and I felt good. It felt good being there, and I feel good with the training I'm doing in LA. And to all my fans, just stay up with me. Up on Twitter, up on Facebook, and look for the updates from the Magic Man, because I'll be back. I'll probably be back around the fall, late summer, and hopefully in the title fight. And I have full confidence in Golden Boy Promotions that they can and will get me the biggest fight possible. And I look forward to it, and I can't wait for the challenges.
Okay, fight fans, that was the former light welterweight world champion Paulie Malignaggi, and my name is Cruz from InTheRingBoxing.com, telling you to stay cool and educate yourself.